Give me 2 thumbs up when it's ready, or 1 thumb up, 2 thumbs up. Give me 6 thumbs up, like Kali, you know? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Hi. Hi. Welcome. 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 My name is Sim, like a SIM card, if you haven't met yet. Regulations are the biggest change that is coming to crypto between now and middle of 2024. So before I go into the actual regulations themselves, let's just really look at this space, right? Because this entire space is not cryptocurrencies. This is a digital asset space. This is a way for us to create an asset class that is able to represent investment into new technologies in a new way, without brokers, without stock exchanges, without people involved in the process. You can go directly from your bank to investing in the digital asset and back to your bank with almost zero fees. And we're building a system that's going to be zero fees. So when you think about that, right? What are the asset classes we have? We have stocks, we have bonds, we have real estate, we have commodities, we have crypto now. And if you want to call Forex or cash an asset class, you could, but it's technically not an asset class because currencies are not assets. Assets are things that go up and down in value, and you're taking risk of investing in those things. Risk is that you lose money, reward is that you make money. This new asset class is at the level of bonds and stocks and real estate. You know, that's hundreds of trillions of dollars of value that sits in each one of those asset class categories. So for us to really have the adoption on an institutional scale, we need regulations to go into place, right? We're all waiting for crypto to pump. You know when it pumps? When the big wallets open. And by big wallets, I mean hedge funds, money managers, sovereign wealth funds, retirement funds. They're holding most of the money in assets across the world. And actually, I just remembered one thing that I want to add to the list. The way we invest money is we just go, oh, my friend told me about XYZ shitcoin, and I'm just going to connect to an exchange, maybe KYC, maybe not. KYC is know your customer, where you like actually verify with your passport or with your ID. And we just take the money out of our pocket and we put it into a space because we're allowed to do whatever we want, right? Especially in this unregulated space. That's not how most of the money in the world works. Most of the money in the world needs to move according to investor guidelines that investors have said, do not put our money into a space that doesn't meet this checklist of things that need to be met. That checklist includes a fully regulated, fully protected environment where, you know, retirement funds can move to. They're not going to move to Bitcoin, right? They're going to move to the broader digital asset. They might hold some Bitcoin, but Bitcoin will end up being like about the size of gold compared to all the rest of the assets. Gold is about $4 trillion of actual gold, physical gold, and about $10 trillion of paper gold and physical gold combined together. And $10 trillion in a $1.6 quadrillion market is a drop in the bucket. That's where Bitcoin sits, right? They need regulations so that they can open their wallets and push the money in from these spaces which are now losing money, right? Bonds are losing money. Stocks are there. Some of them are okay, but a lot of them are not good investments anymore, especially the old world stocks. Even Web 2 stocks are starting to get to a point where they're starting to become old. Within the next 2 to 3 years, the shift will happen. So in order for us to really get to that promised land of X's, many, many, many X's, way more X's than we've had before, we need the hundreds of trillions of dollars of capital flow to come in from the biggest players in the world into a regulated space, right? So that's why we've seen this kind of shift happening, right? Luna didn't go down by itself. Wall Street attacked it so they could use it as an excuse to say, oh, guess what? Now we're going to regulate you. Tether is not an unregulated stablecoin for no reason. You know, it's not an unregulated scam for no reason. When they collapse Tether, they will go, oh, well, guess what? You use fake dollars to go into a fake version of finances called DeFi. And I mean, DeFi is real. DeFi has has the potential to take, DeFi will run the entire world's finances within the next 10 years. But the DeFi world we have today is completely valueless, or not completely, almost 98% valueless. 2% of the protocols are world-changing protocols. So they will say, oh, you used a fake version of the dollar. You took dollars or euros, and then you got a fake version of the dollar called tether, and then you bought XYZ shitcoin, and you lost all of your money. Therefore, to protect you, we need to limit you from participating in this space because you'll hurt yourself again. So then, you know what we're going to do? We're going to create CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, which is our official version of the dollar, and you will be allowed to use it the way we say you're allowed to use it. So that's where the world of finance is going, but the broader world is shifting completely under our feet. The broader world is shifting to a world where sovereignty as a concept is going to disappear. Privacy as a concept is going to disappear. Even ownership in the physical world is going to become harder and harder, and unless you have capital sitting on the sidelines to be able to maintain your assets, it's going to become difficult to even own real estate or whatever else, other stuff that you own. Some dynamics that are playing out in that process is, first of all, social credit scores are coming, right? So it's going to be basically, we will all have a score of how we're allowed to participate in this new space. And if you are somebody who posts things on social media that they don't agree with, your score will get knocked down and you can't get flight tickets. And this is, if you want to learn about this, study what China has done for the last 4, 5, 7 years, and that same system is coming to us. China is always a beta test. Alongside that, they're going to change the banking system in a way that takes away our financial sovereignty. So we will have to hit I agree and agree to the fact that we will not be allowed to move our money the way that we want. It'll need to be, it will need to sit in places and move in ways that are allowed to us by our overlords, right? Because we've already discussed that the transition is not happening from a US dominated system to a China dominated system. That's just a geopolitical shift that's happening. The real shift that's happening is it's going from a US dominated system to a one world dominated system, World Economic Forum dominated system, business dominated system. Yeah, so it's going supranational. Alongside that, locality as a concept is going to disappear. So it won't make a difference that you're in Bali here or in the mountains or wherever, because in the metaverse, you'll be able to interact as if you're physically in any space at any time with ubiquitous internet everywhere. And you'll be able to experience reality, real reality or, you know, imagined reality in a way that it's the digital will be brought into the physical. So we'll have physical manifestations of the internet that'll be around us. So like this screen won't be needed because you guys will all have glasses on that'll put a screen on the back. As a matter of fact, we'll just meet on the moon or something. You know, you can put on a robot suit, come to the moon. Somebody could be a dragon, somebody could be an alien. It's very interesting meeting in VR chat, which is already a VR world. When you go in there, it's just like, it's giants and aliens. And I went in as a mushroom because, you know, of course I'm gonna go in as a mushroom. What do you think? Amanita muscaria too, like the mushroom, right? Don't take Amanita muscaria. It's magicer than magic mushrooms. Amanita muscaria is actually the reason why stockings are red and white, because they used to hang red and white Amanita muscarias over the fireplace to dry them. The pagans used to do that. And then as soon as, you know, the puritanical nature of the wrong version of Christianity came along, they turned it into stockings. But anyways, that's a side point. What was I even talking about? Mushrooms, VR chat, right. No help in this room today. So that's what's happening. Non-locality, no sovereignty, no privacy for the poor. For the poor. All this stuff that I'm saying is for the poor. For the rich, everything. Locality, you can be wherever you want. Sovereignty, you can have all of it. If you have a private jet, no lockdowns. Okay, that's the world we're moving. We already live in this world, but it's about to become more systematized. Now, I just had a really good point that escaped me. It's okay, it'll come back. That's why we have to shift everything that we think into this new landscape. We have to unlearn everything that we learned before. We have to shift into this new landscape. We have to aim our strategies in a way so that we can we can prepare ourselves for this future world and be ready to participate. You know, that's why they said metaverse, I said 2 headsets, please. You know, they said other things and I was like, 2, please. No problem. You know, I'm rich. Okay? So, whatever. What do you need? You need passports? Here's one. That one doesn't work? Here's the second one. That one doesn't work? Here's the 7th one. Now you're gonna let me in? Great, thank you so much. Same person, but wealth changes your ability to be able to do things. And that's what we're doing. Let's not have any illusions. We're not here to save the world. The world does not need saving. We got to save ourselves. If you save yourself, the world will save itself, okay? What we're doing is we're protecting our wealth in a way so that it doesn't get destroyed through this transitionary process that's happening between now and 2026, so that on the other side, when the deployment happens, when the true growth, when this torrent of capital opens up, we still have the power, purchasing power, to be able to sit on the other side with our little buckets and catch some of that liquidity that's going to flow in, so that we can then facilitate a ability to operate at a level that carbon to money. That's the idea. Carbon to money. Okay. So that we can facilitate our lifestyles and continue living the way that we want. Actually, we'll live. It's literally transitioning to a world of have-nots and have-yachts. You know, that's not my quote. That's a quote from a brilliant guy. But it's literally transitioning to a world from have-nots and have-yachts. Now, you will not need to have your own yacht. We will have yachts, right? So that's the other part about this world, where we're transitioning to a place where products are becoming services, right? You don't need a jet, you just need to charter a jet. You don't need a car, you just need Gojek. You don't need, you know, a house, you just need Airbnb. So products are transferring to a service, right? That's why kids, they don't get driver's licenses. Like, why do I need to drive? Somebody drives me. Why do I need to buy real estate? I can live in a palatial villa whenever I want, and then I hand it back to somebody else who it's a problem. If there's a hole in the roof, that's a you problem. Mike. Turn it on.
I just wanted to say that I recently heard a thing about the thing that's called mobility as a service. So it's like it's coming across Europe, it's coming across US, and that's exactly what you are saying, which is like there is no home, there is Airbnb, there is no car, and there is like shared cars. And what else I know, that the idea of like owning this stuff is gonna be like,
it won't make sense.
Yeah.
It literally won't make sense. The same way that it didn't make sense to put your kids in a stranger's car back in the day, and then Uber comes along, and the only thing that makes sense is put your teenagers in a stranger's car, because your teenager is going to get drunk driving back, right? So the world is going to shift to a point where like ownership won't make sense. Like, for example, I'll give you an example, right? I don't need to own Park. I have the keys. I don't need to own Bali Blockchain Center. I have the keys. They have 4 more buildings they don't know what to do with. Guess who has the keys? We do. So now we have 500-person auditorium, NFT gallery, giant government buildings that are waiting for us to do something with it. We have a $100 million co-living, co-working project that was built by a guy who's like, look, I don't even know what to do with it here. So the resources are infinite. What we're building is actually a decentralized network of us's across the world, where if you're one of us and you have the right heart and you've proven that you're part of the community, you'll have keys to places everywhere, and it'll be an NFT. It'll be an NF key, you know? So, yeah, so it's like literally like you scan it here, you walk into Park, there's a room for you, as long as there's space. Then you go into Denpasar, you have 5 buildings. You go to Jakarta, you have 17 buildings. You go to Costa Rica, you go to US, we're building all of this stuff live today. There's great bunch of crazies who are all building this world. But the final goal is to convert money into carbon. Money and carbon will become interchangeable, okay? It will become that if you have money, so here's how it's gonna work, okay? Here's how the future of money is gonna work under the technocratic future. If you eat a steak, the amount of carbon it took to produce, process, ship, and cook the steak will be calculated in the steak. The price of the steak will be the price of the carbon that you released. First of all, climate change is a scam. This is why it's a scam. Okay? Climate changes. The climate changed. We got to do something about that. Right? Shit. We got to fix the changing weather. We got to stop the clouds. Anyways, I could go down a whole rabbit hole. But anyways, the point is they're going to tie money to carbon. So, okay, do you have the money to eat a steak? Today we're like, do you have the money to eat a steak? It's going to transition to, do you have the carbon credits, which is money, to eat a steak? And if you don't get a steak, right? But if you're rich, you can eat the cow. Can we get him a mic, please? Mic transport systems.
You were just saying if you have the money, you can eat a steak. If you don't have the money, you can't eat a steak. What happens to you if you don't have the money and you can't eat a steak?
They will put money into your CBDC account. We're going to talk about CBDCs. No, but you will have money that you can't buy a steak with because they're giving you money. Your overlords are giving you money and you can't buy steaks with it. You can't buy crypto with it. You can't buy certain things with it. If you don't spend it by a certain date, it will expire in your bank account. If you say something wrong, your social credit will disappear and all the money will disappear from your bank account. You do what I say. This has been in the works for 100 years. And like, I'm not unsure about any of this because I'm very intimately, I was unsure before 2020. And I was like, I hope people wake up and say no. That didn't happen. That didn't happen at all. As a matter of fact, people said yes quicker than they needed to say yes, which proves to us that this world is going to be built. And these guys, this is a multi-generational plan. This is a plan that's been in place since 1700s. Okay, this is no joke. They've been trying to take the world since 1700. I mean, you know, the evil world dominator always wants to take over, but you know, they've been working on this plan since then. It's now coming to fruition because we've built the technology to hand it all over to them. We don't need artists. I just ask an AI to do the work. We don't need anything other than technicians and creators, not creatives, creators who create the new system. Okay, however they want. You can make a light beam Bali metaverse, or you can make, you know, like I told you guys, I walked into an NFT gallery and I walked into a Nazi rally. And I was like, shit, the Nazis got here first. Like, this is bullshit. We gotta have the light beings getting here first. And I was like freaked out. And then we left. And then it turned out it was actually just a representation of the Pink Floyd movie. They recreated the Pink Floyd movie with the Nazi scene in there, right? So he was like, anyways. So that's the world we're moving to. And it is coming faster than you think. And between now and 2025, there's going to be a flipping of the switch where the entire global financial system freezes. When it freezes, all the money from the banks is going to freeze, all the global transactions are going to freeze, all of the global commerce is going to freeze, and then it's going to stay frozen for long enough until we turn on each other because now food is not reaching our tables. And by the time we're done killing each other, on the other side, they're going to say, oh, you know what? Like, here, I know, it's funny, right? Yeah, killing each other is so funny. But this is a function of, I mean, this society we live in is a thin veil of social civility that's layered on top. This society we live in here couldn't care less. This society, you shut down the entire world, they go, yeah, we just went back 25 years. No internet? Great, we just went back 15 years. No electricity? Great, we go back 25 years. We just go back to farm, we have abundance hanging off the trees, and we got food. We have such an overabundance of food, we don't know where to put it. So that's why we're here, in this society, in Bali. Western societies, it's not gonna be good. Yeah, everybody's saying it. Everybody can see it coming, right? And then on the other side, it's gonna be, I have the solution. 2026, I have the solution. Hit I agree on this bank account. Hit I agree on some chip being inserted into you, which are kind of already being inserted into you. Hit I agree on giving up your sovereignty. Hit I agree on, you know, all these new rules that we're building, the global constitution that World Health Organization is has already created for public health emergencies, and then promptly declared a public health emergency for monkeypox right after, because, you know, that's the power structure. So that's what's going on in the broader world. And in that world, if you don't have money, you know what you do? You want a villa? You can have a villa, put this on your face. And then eventually jack this into the back of your head, because our friend Elon has made it for you. It's not gonna be the back of your head, it's probably gonna be on the side of your head and like remotely, so it won't look too matrixy. But eventually, You want everything inside of this world. It doesn't cost us anything. As a matter of fact, it's 0 carbon credits for you to be inside of the world, and it's X amount of carbon credits for you to operate outside of this world. That's the metaverse that we're talking about. And it's not going to be the metaverse. There's going to be metaverses. So, okay, in the middle of that landscape, here are the regulations. And crypto, what we call crypto, is a misnomer. Cryptocurrency is simply a asset-based value transfer mechanism that will allow value to fluidly move in that new space, right? It's smart contracts are simply a way for value to automatically move algorithmically in the metaverse space. So it's like, if you want to go into the metaverse, you want to look at some art that's in the physical world, like Zuckerberg was showing in his demo, your friend will populate it into the metaverse, it'll pop up, you pay $1 to see it, and then it will disappear, and you pay another $1 to see it for longer. Everything will be a service. Every single thing, okay? Now, if cryptocurrency and blockchain is actually the computer networks that you hook up together. Blockchain is simply a way to connect computers in a way so companies don't own the computers in one country or one place. There's computers connected across the world that we can program to do all of this stuff. That's the idea of blockchain. Cryptocurrency is the asset or the payment mechanism that allows for that value to move and transition wherever you like in an automated manner. In order for all of that to happen, first thing we need is regulations. And I'm excited about regulations because I'm so sick of 20,000 cryptos out there with 60% scams, 30% not scams, but they're going to lose all your money eventually. They're really good at not looking like scams, but they don't know how to execute a business, so they're going to lose your money. But the 10%, about 10-ish%, are the base layer of the future of this world that we're talking about. And they're already telling us which ones those are. In that world, the central piece is KYC, know your customer regulations. They're not, and actually, let me back up a little bit. In that world, there will be 2 worlds, okay? On this side is the asset world. On this side is the currency world. The average person will only be allowed to interact with the currency world, which is dollars and euros and all the worthless things that we work hard for. What they're going to be doing in that world is they're just going to be printing those to infinity. They're already doing that. They're devaluing our stuff at 20% a year, but it's going to go to 20, 40, 100, 200, 500, 1,000%. When they're devaluing it at 1,000% a year, no matter how much currency you have, if you don't use it right away, it's going to become worthless. That's why you'll be incentivized to spend it the moment it comes in. That means wealth generation, the way our parents and older generations did, will completely become impossible. Accruing currency to generate wealth will become impossible. On this side is the asset world, which will be all the asset classes that we talked about. Physical assets, but mostly digital assets. Digital assets will engulf physical assets. It's not a coincidence that we're taking physical mines and turning them into digital assets. It's not a coincidence that tourism, that keys, that every single thing around you, from tables to people to brands to this thing to that thing to that thing, it's all going to be turned into a digital representation of it, and the value will be represented in the digital world. But that's on the asset side of things. That asset side, as you print more money, the assets will just go up in value, right? Because the dollar is becoming worthless. Therefore, the dollar-denominated value of the assets keeps going up. Bitcoin didn't go up from 0.8 of a penny to $60,000, $70,000, right? It did, but actually the purchasing power of the dollar diminished over that time. That's not relative. Bitcoin actually did go up in purchasing power itself, because Bitcoin 10,000 bought a pizza once, then one bought a bicycle, then one bought a scooter. Now one buys a McDonald's application, because we all need to go get jobs at McDonald's. But at one point, one was buying a nice Beamer, a Benz. Pretty soon it's going to be one's going to buy a villa, then one's going to buy a neighborhood, then one's going to buy a private island, and right around a private island, it will actually level off. So purchasing power does go up because these assets are coming to life. But if you have not transitioned from the currency world to the digital asset world, when they flip the switch, it's over for you. That's a fact. That's the plan. So you need to take your money and transition it into assets. Assets make money. Money loses purchasing power. Money that we call money loses purchasing power. In that world, we need KYC, know your customer, which means let me back up again. Jesus, so many things to cover. So you will not be able to buy milk with assets. You don't buy a milk with a house, right? You sell the house and convert it into currency, and then you buy milk or coconut, like we like to reference. So that's not going to change. Like, I'm at the center of, we're building the regulations themselves ourselves, and all we keep learning is they're not going to let go of the power of the dollar, at least not for 15 years, 15 to 20 years. You're going to need to convert your assets over to a currency for you to interact with the world. That's why it's illegal in Indonesia to have a good or service with crypto, right? If you have to convert it to the other side. So in order for you to have access to that system that converts it from one side to the other, you will have to KYC, right? And all these people who are like, no, in the decentralized world, blah, 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 blah. No, it doesn't matter. You don't understand the game. In the decentralized world, you can do whatever you want. Yeah, you can make banana coins and shit coins and think you're making 1 million banana coins. Your yields is net 700,000% in shit coins. But the moment you try to convert it into rupiah or dollars and you try to buy milk with it, sorry, you're not allowed to. You're making it in a space we don't agree with. So the space will exist, but the value of it won't be able to be extracted unless you're on the black market. And we're not about the black market. In order for you to have access to that wall that converts your purchasing power and stored love into actual manifestable love in the real world, you will need to have access to that wall. And that wall will require you to have the right social credit score. It will require for you to have KYC. It will require for you to pass AML, which is anti-money laundering checks, and all that stuff. So the way that's going to play out in the world is crypto is going to be held by banks. Crypto is going to be held by banks. Banks are not going to let go of their power. They're just going to hold our crypto for us. And we're going to be very happy to give them the crypto for us because nobody wants to use a wallet. It's such an archaic system that like a bunch of us techies came up with, but that's a limited time offer. Banks are already starting to custody crypto. Pretty soon, all of our crypto will be held by banks. Wallets, the wallets that we do have are going to become very difficult to manage and operate and stay regulated. Because either you're going to have to KYC wallets, like Cyril said, which is it's difficult, but it can happen. Or there's something called the travel rule, right? The Financial Action Task Force runs the entire global financial regulatory world. 2 years ago, we already saw this coming, and we did talks about it, that they're going to make it so that in order for you to send money to somebody else from your own wallet, you will need their social security number, their address, their name, their blood sample, hair sample, mother's maiden name, okay? Blood sample, the last year a joke. Nobody laughed at it, fuck. You will need to provide those things, and it'll be too expensive for an individual to do that. It'll be impossible for an individual to do that. They're not gonna make it illegal for you, but they're just gonna make it so difficult that you'll just be like, I'll just use the bank, because the bank will be able to do this. Because the banks, they send it from one KYC point to another KYC point today. You know, one identity verified point to the other identity verified point today. That same system is gonna be leveraged going forward. That's the role banks are gonna play in this process. And banks will be there to service, banks will be there to service the last mile problem, which is like just processing the money for payments and stuff like that. DeFi, say bye-bye to DeFi. Bye-bye from us. They gave us this DeFi world so we could innovate. Now they're done with it, and DeFi is going to die this time around. I've been through a lot. I've been to a lot of funerals in crypto, and DeFi is going to be one of the biggest funerals. Yes, sir. I have answers.
About 10 minutes ago, you said DeFi is going to rule the world. Now
Yes.
you're saying DeFi is going to die.
Exactly. And see, you'll know this about me. I hold two competing concepts in my head, and I agree with both of them. Okay? I'm the light and the dark. I am the good and the bad. I am Alpha and the Omega. So that's a really good point. DeFi is going to die for you. DeFi is going to take over the world for them. I'm speaking to Wall Street. We have friends right at the guts of it. And they are going to run the entire world of finance on DeFi. We are not going to be allowed to touch it. Because what did we do? What did we do? We took a fake version of the dollar and we used DeFi to buy shit coins and we hurt ourselves, right? Because we're stupid. So plebs, why are we letting plebs touch the world of finance? Since when do we let the plebs touch the world of finance? Plebs need to talk to somebody smarter than them and give all their money to them so that they can steal it. Invest it for them, right? So that the entire world's value system, and I mean everything, bonds, stocks, real estate, commodities, futures, everything will transition to a world of DeFi. We just won't be allowed to touch it unless we speak to our overlords, or you're rich enough to, if you're rich enough. It's all about if you're rich enough, right? In this process, one of the next things that's going to be the trigger point for them to bring in the regulations is Tether. Tether is a scam created by scammers to scam you. And it's a scam because it's backed by worthless crap. Tether's not backed by dollars, which is, they're worthwhile. For now, dollars are not worthless, but it's backed by worthless Chinese debt. Therefore, Tether itself is worthless. Therefore, all these purchases that have happened in the crypto space with Tether, with the velocity of Tether, which means buying and selling and buying and selling. The faster you buy and sell, the more velocity there is of money. Like, for example, I could take $1 and I could buy $1 billion of assets with it. I just have to go one, and then I would do $1 billion of transaction with $1. So it's not about the money, it's about the velocity. So the amount of velocity that Tether has created in the space has fakely pumped up this entire market, because this market right now is pretty worthless. There's few projects that are the gold, everything else is worthless. So when the biblical collapse happens, which now looks like it's going to be sometime in 2023, latest by 2024. Latest. There might be crashes the way that we're seeing right now in the traditional markets, but they're going to pull the pin on Tether. They're going to blow up Tether the same way they blew up Luna. And they actually, while they were blowing up Luna, they beta tested Tether. And they knocked Tether down a few pegs and got it down to 95 cents. And for them, it's pennies for them to knock off all of these things because they're so small as financial assets. When that happens, you better have a farm. When Tether collapses, you better start building your farm. You better start building your farm early. My G, we're already building farms, okay? And that's why it's not a coincidence we got a 7-hectare food forest, because I know there's a lot of people who are gonna be like, I'm gonna go back to my life. And when the bell rings, they're gonna be like, where's this food forest? But sorry, I'm not giving you the location unless you're a giver. Okay, if you're a taker, sorry, we don't have anything for you to take, even though the food rots on the ground for us. But if you're a giver, we will give you the world, the entire world, from locations to whatever. Anyways, when Tether's pin gets pulled, crypto will go biblical. And 95 to 99% discounts on things that we are today wondering, should I get in now, right? And our goal is simply to transition our wealth to the other side of that collapse so we can buy things at 95 to 99% discounts, solid things from 95 to 99% discounts. And if that sounds like crazy, Ethereum was 95% discount from 2017. Nobody bought it because, we only buy things when they go up. It's 80% off already, but it'll probably go 90% down, maybe 85% down, but regardless, this is the nature of the space, right? One of the problems in this world that they're building is the travel rule. Nobody even knows what the travel rule is. But the travel rule says the Financial Action Task Force, the overlords of the global financial world, one of the arms of the one world government, they released the recommendations 2 years ago, and those recommendations are exactly what's being used to deploy the regulations now across the world. They've said they're not going to take out the travel rule, which means when money travels, the sender needs to prove the legality of the receiver. And the receiver needs to prove their legality, right? And the sender needs to already prove their legal nature beforehand, right? What that does is, people are like, yeah, but I can send Bitcoin to anybody. Yeah, you can send Bitcoin to anybody. How are they turning into milk? They got to put it into the wall where they verified in a way so that they can turn it into milk. So no matter what, it's not about what you do in crypto. As a matter of fact, some sectors of crypto will become illegal. So if you just enter the space and try to exit, you go buy a privacy coin and then you exit, your money will be worthless because now you've touched an asset that's a black asset, and you'll be put on the international money laundering list, and your life and your children's life and your children's children's life for all generations shall be done. But everything else is going to be fine. Monero. Coins that are not on the blockchain. You know, people like blockchain gives me privacy. A public ledger that an idiot like me could read gives you privacy? They're like, no, then I'll go to Monero to get privacy. It's like, good luck. Try to make $1 million in Monero today and try to pull it out. It'll be difficult. Try to maybe put $100,000 in and turn it into $1 million in a privacy coin and pull it out. You might go to jail. You might have your social credit knocked down. Your bank account might be taken. Your children's lives might be ruined. Who knows? But regardless, that's the world that we're going to. So we won't be able to follow the travel rule. We are not meant to follow the travel rule. Banks follow the travel rules. Companies follow the travel rule. Institutions follow the travel rule. There's going to be some good stuff at the end of it. Yeah, but I don't know if I'm going to get to the good stuff. We got a lot of shit to go through, okay? What we're seeing now is we already have a CBDC. It's called USDC. It's called USDC. They've already created a private CBDC. There will be private CBDCs and public CBDCs, right? Because again, the goal of the one world government is to take the power away from the governments. So the governments will create their own central bank digital currencies, but private companies will be allowed to create basically central bank digital currencies, like USDC is a central bank digital currency already, but it's a digital version of it. The regulations around that are going to be that if you're a stable coin, you can only back yourself with certain assets. You can't back yourself with Luna. You can only back yourself with what they say you can back yourself with. And then you got to register yourself as a bank, which decentralized projects cannot do. It's illegal. It's impossible for a decentralized project, truly decentralized project, to register themselves as a bank. So again, these regulations are meant not to shut down the actual thing, because the actual thing can't be shut down. It's technically impossible for them to shut down Bitcoin, unless they shut off every single computer that's running Bitcoin. And there are people within like nuclear grade secured mountains with guns ready to fight the government if they have to make sure that Bitcoin doesn't get shut down. So that's not going to happen. And plus, this is private industry taking over. Private industry will not cannibalize itself. What they're going to do is they're going to disincentivize the usage of those systems in a way that we stop using it, because we're lazy. We're all lazy. We just want convenience, and we don't want to have to deal with the governments and police. So they're just going to make it so that, oh, you can use a wallet all you want, but you got to follow the travel rule. I can't follow the travel rule. Well, the bank can follow the travel rule. Give them a little fee to follow the travel rule. Okay, fine, I'll give it to the bank. You can't use these certain spaces. Well, I want to use the spaces. Well, if you do, your social credit card is knocked down. Oh, well, that's inconvenient. I want flights. Okay, then I'll do it this way, right? So it's herding sheep. We're the sheep. It's herding sheep. There's this beautiful picture that it's such a representation of how the world works. It's a top-down shot of like thousands of sheep, and they're all going through a little gate, but there's no fence. There's no fence. And we're just conditioned to go through the gate. As long as they make us think there's a fence, the sheep just wait at the non-existent fence, and they all push themselves through the gate because the shepherd has trained them to go through the gate. So these are the gates, okay? People are sheep. Sheeple, right? People are more sheep than sheep. If you try to herd a sheep, it will fight. If you try to hurt a person, as long as you pay them some money, they won't fight. This is the world. Like, I'll take everything from you. You're gonna riot? Here's a new bank account with $40 inside. Go get some food. And nobody will fight. The only people we will fight is us, because that's what we do. We cannibalize each other. Otherwise, there's like 13 families, and out of them, they got like 9 guys in a room once in a while. And it's a well-lit room. It's not some dark room, right? They don't exist. Where are they? I haven't met them yet. It's just us. They just convince us to cannibalize us. right? Plus, this is us doing it to us because they're incentivizing us to do it to us, right? So what we've seen now is people did not pay enough attention to this. The world already today is run by one program. One program. It's called Aladdin. Nobody's ever heard of Aladdin. Aladdin runs the entire world today. Aladdin is BlackRock's analytical software. It started as analytical software, then it became asset management software, then it became AI-based algorithmic trading software that crushed the game so much that BlackRock's competitors, so-called competitors, which are still owned by the same people, adopted it. So it has about $15 trillion of assets on the platform, and it controls about $20 to $30 trillion of assets, depending on who you ask. And it's about to control all of the assets in the entire world. BlackRock controls all of them. Actually, BlackRock and State Street and Vanguard and a few other snakes of the head run the entire world. They own every single thing. This room was probably built by them if you dig down deep enough. That is their control mechanism. Everybody's worried about this. They're like, decentralization is going to free us. Yeah, blockchain is going to free us, but it's going to be connected to this one software in this one place where all of real estate, all of bonds, all of stocks, all of everything will filter through the system, right? So BlackRock owns the world, owns the vast majority of the world. BlackRock has partnered with Coinbase, and through their Coinbase Prime platform, they're connecting a pipeline of that capital that we talked about, which is the capital that's from sovereign wealth funds, from hedge funds, from retirement funds. It's going to be filtered through Coinbase to give them access to the asset space. Because right now, the government regulations don't exist and don't exist enough, and private industry is moving too fast, and the wealth managers are burning a hole through their pocket because everything's denominated on dollars. So they are using BlackRock as a stopgap in the meantime to take that capital and connect it with the digital asset space, but in a way that we can't touch. And so that's why Coinbase has now become the single safest place to be in the world, in the crypto space. Pardon? Exactly. But apparently, if they go bankrupt, they're going to lose all your money. You should go to KuCoin. Yeah. Apparently, Solana is getting hacked and USDC is getting hacked. You should leave Solana and go to shitcoin X and convert yourself to USDT, apparently. Yeah, doggy coins. That's where the safety is, right? So you also have to understand the mis and disinformation that happens to try to trick you into going away from the things that are safe. XRP is a shitcoin. Shitcoin stablecoin, right? So BlackRock is connecting with Coinbase and USDC. That makes Coinbase and USDC the safest places to be because that's where their money is and that's where their money is going, right? That is the beginning of the end of the old financial system. That is the beginning of the end of the jurisdictional, country-controlled, we have voting rights, we have sovereignty, humans matter, lives matter, black, white, pink, or purple, lives matter. That whole world's going away, right? Now it's going to be carbon matters, money matters, value matters, creators matter. That's it. And if you're a healer, you are going to become the kings of the world and the queens of the world because AI won't be able to heal the way that you heal. And the fact that the world does not value what you do will flip on its head. Lawyers will become the bottom. Lawyers will disappear. AI will make lawyers disappear, and healers will become the inheritors of the earth because they will be the only people actually able to add priceless value to people's lives, and they will be compensated alongside that. Oh, sorry. The technicians will be the richest. But healers will be the wealthiest, right? Technicians will be the richest in their bank account, but healers will be the wealthiest in here and outside. So that's true wealth, right? Cosmic wealth. No, real wealth on the ground. Like healers will be able to fly on jets because they're healing, right? And the world is about to go through trauma. That's why it's always funny to me. Like people are like, I'm gonna heal the trauma. What happened? My dad didn't pay enough attention to me. Oh, my love. Oh, your parents were busy working their ass off to feed you and they didn't give you enough love? Give me 40 seconds. Wait until the shit that's coming down the pipeline. You'll forget. You'll like find your dad and be like, thank you so much. Can you ignore me again? Because that was like literally the nicest part of my life compared to the shit that's gonna happen, okay? So there's trauma coming that is going to be beyond movies, and prep yourself. The Financial Action Task Force has also created regulations, and now US is doing it and everybody's doing it. We're doing it here in Indonesia because you have to. They call them VASPs, Virtual Asset Service Providers. They're called different things in different regulations, but virtual asset service providers, exchanges and businesses that create, exchange, hold, move, or do anything with virtual assets will have a laundry list of regulations to follow to make sure that they follow the old world structure. And the old world structure will die in 70 years. In 70 years, decentralization will come to everybody. Our grandkids it won't even make sense that countries exist. Passports will disappear within 20 years. Virtual asset service providers are the pinch points. That's where they're going to control everything. You can do whatever you want, wherever you want, and but the moment you need milk, you got to go through a WASP, which is a WASP. All these things are very like, words matter. You're going to have to go through the wasp's nest to actually be able to transact, okay? You know what's funny? The public health emergency that World Health Organization declared, it's called a PHEIC. And in quotes, they say, pronounced fake. At this point, it's a joke. It's like, how much more of a joke can we play on these idiots and they'll still accept it? They literally, in their own article, say, PHEIC, Public Health Emergency, something, something. Pronounced fake is what we're declaring. And as a comedian, the world is the funniest it's ever been. It's the funniest it's ever been because, like, I stopped watching comedies now, right? But it's pointless. Like, Black Mirror can't make new episodes because the world beat Black Mirror. You know, the world is one big comedy set. You just gotta laugh at it, because if you don't, you're gonna cry. But you can cry laughing, right? Cry laughing. Laughter and crying is kind of the same thing. You just gotta change your mindset about it. Now, this is all being implemented by a global network of rich people. You could call them World Economic Forum, but there's a deeper structure behind it. But that's a good representation of it. World Economic Forum, World Health Organization, NATO, International Monetary Fund, World Bank, World. Who elects them? Nobody. World Wide Web. It was called the web, and it captured us. It was called the net, and it captured our children. Words matter. It's right in front of us. Just gotta see it. The World Economic Forum has clearly defined and screamed from the rooftops their initiatives. You will own nothing and you will be happy. You will own nothing and you will be happy. That's kind of how he pronounces it, right? Klaus Schwab. This is where partially I agree with him. Partially I agree with the guy. Everybody wants to own everything. I want a Ferrari. I want a villa. I want cows. I want everything. No. Sorry, you're destroying the planet. No. How much value do you add to society? How many people's lives do you improve? Right? People want everything, yet they're not willing to die every single day for other people. Yet the billionaires feed 100 million billions of families. The billionaires feed billions of families. Are you feeding billions of families? No, then you don't get $1 billion. You don't get a Ferrari. Figure out a way to feed 1 billion families. We'll give you a Ferrari. You can buy the company Ferrari if you want. But if you don't, sorry, you will own nothing. And as a matter of fact, in that world, owning nothing will make you happy. You know, like one of the happiest days I've ever had in my entire life, and I will never forget this day, is the day that I left Calgary, Canada, right? Before the day I left Calgary, Canada. I sold everything. I just gave half of it away, sold it to people who wanted to buy it. And I was sitting there with 2 bags. One is my survival bag with like everything I need to like get through the apocalypse. And one is my bag with 3 pairs of shorts, 3 t-shirts inside, some underwear, socks, 1 pair of shoes. And I'm sitting there on an airbed. And I just felt so good because I finally took my shackles off. Nothing is holding me anywhere in the world now. I can go wherever I want. I'm as light as a bird. I can fly. I'm literally going to fly to the land of paradise because there's absolutely nothing left to hold me here. We don't own things. Our things own us. Okay, so yes, you know, I'll be happy. I already don't own things. I don't own shit. Okay, and I'm so happy. And I have complete freedom to do whatever I want. And you know what I do? I figure out ways to add value to people's lives because that's how I'm built, right? Partially, I disagree with him. Mostly, I disagree with him because their idea of you will own nothing and you'll be happy is you will be subdued to submit through chaos into a world that will take all of your sovereignty. Humans and sovereignty are you can't separate them, okay? Inseparable. Their goal is not to, because we're not giving up our power, you know? It gets to a certain point and then we're like, we don't want to give it up. So then we'll fight. So they're going to put us through, now we're in the fog of war, we are in the shock and awe stage of this war. If you think the last 2 years were bad, that was the trailer. The movie's starting now, and it's a horror flick. Okay, then the next 4 years are going to be one for the history books. The same way World War II was for the history books. We got World War III now, and it's starting. Their goal is to put us through that to the point where we just give up. And we just break down, and we submit, and we bow, and we say, please stop. Please stop. And that process is something I'm not okay with. That's the process I'm fighting. So I'm like, okay, what are you gonna do? You're gonna take all our money? It's not where you can take it anymore, bro. It's where your money is. Are you gonna take your own money? Are you gonna destroy the structures that hold your money? Trust structures, corporate structures, USDC, crypto, held in the right places. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna build the projects. You like mines, right? You like mines? Yes. Feel like mines? Yes. We need more copper. To build a green future, great. I'll pull out the copper for you. Great. Okay, but we're gonna let everybody participate in it. You know, there's 1,000 things, right? The way we fight it is we build the system we want, but it's aligned with their initiatives in a way so that they won't want to destroy us, because if they destroy us, they're destroying themselves because we're the plebs who do the work, right? On top of that, build farms. Build farms. We're building a decentralized network of communities across the world that will be beacons to the greatest, smartest people in the world to come and build their beautiful earth-changing projects in a way where we will support you with physical locations and food and money and community and love and support and ambassadors and every single thing that you need, governments, everything you need to make your thing work, right? So then we will create, those will turn into beacons of truth, where truth shall be spoken. And then we're bringing 2 truth tellers to speak in a space. It'll probably have to be far away. It's not going to be in Denpasar. That's why I'm in the mountains, 2.5 hours from here. But we're building that. That's our biggest resistance, because that truth that gets spoken will go to our children, who will probably do very little with it. And our children's children, yeah, because we're rich. Our children are going to be spoiled brats. We just got to get that information through our children to our grandchildren. and the grandchildren will be in the right space to turn the ship around in the true way. So our goal is to take the truth that we have and feed it down the generations, not just to our children. We have billions of children, all of us, because there's no separation between you and I, therefore your children are my children, therefore we got to leave this truth to the children of the world in a way so that the grandkids will turn the ship around, and that's how we fight this World Economic Forum bullshit. All of the money in the world, the dollars and the currencies in the world, are going to be made digital. So that means our money is already digital, but we have rights over it. We own the bank account, and we own the bank account. We don't own the money in the bank, but regardless, we're made to feel like we have some sovereignty and rights. The central bank digital currency world is when you have to hit I agree on a world where you say, I don't have any rights. I don't have any rights. I don't even have the rights to my own money. I don't have much to say about that, but that's going to happen. So the way we fight that is grow your own food. Because I went to the farm for 3 days, 4 days and three nights. I could not understand why the fuck we're doing any of this. I swear to God, I had to convince myself to come down to this bullshit. I was literally like, I'm sitting in a food forest as far as I can see, and I need like this much of it to eat everything I need. And I mean, organic doesn't even cover it. It's godly, grown in the bosom of Bali. We made cacao. We literally made cacao like this. Okay, we said, Woody's like, okay, we're going to make cacao. I'm like, okay, and he just walks up to a cacao tree, pops off a cacao. Hold this. Walks literally like 6 feet over, 2 meters over, climbs a coconut tree, pops off a coconut, takes it in hand, take this. And on the way back, he's just picking mulberries back to the kitchen and puts the whole cacao in the front end of it in the fire. We laugh, we talk, hanging out, saying stupid shit to each other. And then once it roasts, takes it out. Oh, and then he goes and gets that old coconut. He's like, wait, you'll see what happens with this. Takes the cacao, opens it, it's roasted inside, pours it into whatever, the thing you beat stuff in, okay? And then we just stood there, 2 of us, 3 of us actually, and we're just making music. It was like da 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 da, and we're just having fun making cacao for 2 hours. It took a while for us to, like, what was it, 30 minutes of beating this thing into pulp? Felt like forever, but it was really fun. It was a party in the house. We have videos, it's fantastic. Takes it out, takes it over to the fire, and he's cooking on a fire that's like with 2 bricks like this. Doesn't even have a 3rd brick on the side because he's a G. You only need 2 bricks, minimize, don't waste bricks. And cooks it, adds in the old coconut, adds in some palm sugar, makes it nice, pulls it out, mixes in the mulberries, and he's like, try this. It ruined food for me. I swear to God, it ruined food for me. I came back here, I can't eat food anymore. I'm literally hiring somebody there on the farm who's gonna take care of the farm, and twice a week they're gonna ship down that food because I cannot eat food anymore from here. My body's like, what is this bullshit? What is this bullshit you're feeding me? Feed me that. And it took 2 hours to make cacao. And you know what we did after that? Time to make lunch. There's an infinite abundance of supply. You really want to escape the system? You really want to escape the system? And you don't want to do any of this stuff? First of all, you better not have kids. Okay? No, if you have kids, your kids are fucked. You're going to escape the system and live in the woods. What about your kids? What about your grandkids? You're dooming them to a life that they never chose. If you don't have kids, lucky for you. You can do whatever the hell you want. Go to the mountains, live. It's paradise. Money doesn't make sense. Money literally doesn't make sense there, right? Anyways, as you can tell, I'm a little passionate about it. The other regulations that are coming down the pipeline are securities regulations and commodities regulations. There's existing securities and commodities regulations that they're trying to retrofit into the crypto space, we're going to change that. We're going to change the securities and commodities regulations, especially here in Indonesia, in a way that will make it conducive for all of us to participate in this space and for us to attract foreign capital, foreign human capital, foreign projects to come here and live in Bali. But securities regulations are one of the biggest things that are going to break crypto. Okay, most projects out in crypto today are violating securities regulations. And if you violate securities regulations, the SEC comes after you. And the SEC is not suing Ripple. The SEC is giving regulatory clarity to Ripple first. Okay, this is again another backwards thing that's happening. When the lawsuit happened, people are like, oh my God, this sucks. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so good. This is great. Because that means when Ripple wins this lawsuit, Ripple will be the only, XRP will be the only regulatorily compliant crypto in the world. And to the CBDC point, what's happening in the world right now is the world is fracturing. The currencies are fracturing. The ruble and dollar don't talk. Pretty soon the yuan and dollar won't talk. If the yuan and dollar don't talk, guess what happens to the entire global supply chain? The entire global supply chain does not talk. And when that happens, you better have a farm. Okay? So in order for that in that future, for the system to work, first of all, wait a minute, you're telling me you're going to create a central bank digital currency. You're going to create a digital version of a dollar or every currency that anybody who uses it, all of that data will be fed back to the owner of the currency, the country. Then why would China use digital US dollars? Then then the US would get all of China's transactional data, which is worth more than all the data in the world, monetary data, right? We're not going to use the digital yuan because then Indonesia is exposed, right? Because Indonesia will not want to give all of their transactional data to China, so China could manipulate them. So how do you conduct global commerce in a world where the world has fractured to this point? Right now, the Middle East is working on creating a Middle East currency. Asia is working on it. South America is working on it. The different factions are breaking up into networks which will create their own currency. Maybe. Let's see how that goes. I'm pretty sure they'll just destroy the countries before the countries can create their own currencies, right? There's many countries that are gone already, by the way. Sri Lanka, gone. Just went down, what was it, 3 months ago? Sri Lanka has become a hellscape, okay? Lebanon, gone. Turkey, gone. Pakistan, gone. Algeria, gone. Most of the world is gone. The big players are dying, but most of the world is gone. Indonesia does not give a fuck. I love Indonesia. Indonesia is the lowest inflation, most stable country in the world today, and we're gonna turn it into the single wealthiest country in the world. How do you make that global commerce world work, though? Because we're business, World Economic Forum. Economic first. The way you do it is you put a neutral bridge reserve currency in the middle. What you do is you put a asset in the middle where when I want to transact with China, I take my digital dollars, I convert it into this asset that's neutral, it's not owned by any country. It then gets converted into the digital yuan and the 100 million tons of rice gets shipped from the other side. Okay? That asset is called XRP. It has the patent on this technology and it's owned by the Rothschilds and Rockefellers. Okay, so securities regulations are going to be one huge thing that's going to kill most crypto projects because they just do not have regulatory mindsets. I'm speaking to crypto projects just all the time. I'm like, does your strategy include a regulatory framework? They're like, a regulatory framework what? I'm like, you're going to die. Goodbye. Simple as that. If you're watching this and you're a project builder, if your project does not take that into account, you're not here to last. You're playing too small of a game. That is not the game. That's not a global game. Global games are regulatory. Commodities regulation, same thing. Some of the crypto assets will be classified as commodities. Luckily in Indonesia, all of crypto is classified as commodities. And we're going to keep that. We're going to make sure that they classify it as commodities because commodities is what they are. They're just digital versions of rice, and because you plant rice and you get more rice. You stake a token and you get more tokens. What's the difference? Nothing. Just a mindset thing, right? Or you get an NFT in a game as an asset, and then if you play it right or if you breed it, you create more assets. It's like you planting the rice and getting more rice. So it should be a commodity. Commodities regulations are actually our saviors. The more we can use that, the better it'll be. In the West, in most of the prison out there, they're going to create securities and commodities regulations and they're going to selectively allow projects into either if they like it or not, or if it's part of their plan or not. Now we get to the ISO 20022 banking system. ISO 20022 banking system is the real world manifestation of this plan that shall allow the fluid movement of value in this real world instantaneously. Like, it's so stupid that when I drink this coffee, I have to go downstairs myself and I have to be like, I would like to pay for that coffee. Is it you just paying for it? Is it multiple people? I'll pay for all of them. How many coffees was it? Well, you gave the coffees. How about you tell me how many coffees it is? Just charge whatever you want. Just get the coffee done, please. Okay, one step up. Okay. How do you add the coffee to it? Okay. It prints out a receipt with bisphenol A hormone blockers on it, and they hand me hormone blockers to destroy my own testosterone. And they go, read that. And I go, just pay for the coffee, man. Like, you're not gonna scam me out of a coffee. It's okay. It's okay. All right? Just, can I pay for the coffee? Yes, okay. How do you want to pay? Card. Do you not have cash? I said card, bro. Just card. Okay. Oh, it's not this machine. One second. No, it happens regularly. I mean, yeah, that's a joke. I'm sorry, I missed the joke. That kind of stuff never happens in Indonesia. Our customer service is next level. Yeah, our customer service. How do you spell that? Right? Yeah. By the way, if you're somebody, and Livius, I know you're watching this, dude, you're gonna dominate here. Okay, so we got places for you. But if you're a customer service person, Indonesia really needs you. Like, please, just come here, please, and like contact me first, and go to the places that I go to. We'll give you everything. Just make sure that, just like teach them what rare steak is. You know, like this is rare, and then this is medium and stuff. Just get them to press their own hands and just say, hey, this is how you cook it, right? Please. Sorry, that was a public service announcement. What were we even talking about? Shut up. What were we talking about? ISO 20022 banking system. Yeah. You know how it'll happen in the future? And I will walk out of the building. And the money will flow from XYZ asset into XYZ currency, and it will go to XYZ place. It'll facially scan me. It will have my QR code automatically tied to that. And I'll just have the coffee and walk out. I'll walk into a restaurant and I'll be like, this is what I want. And they will make it, because Livius is gonna make sure that the steak is rare. And then I'll have the steak, rare, and then I'll just leave. It's happening across the world. Yeah. That's Amazon Go stores, right? Amazon Go stores were the first American manifestation, but it's happening across the world. Exactly. So that's how value is going to move. But also, like, I will go into the metaverse, money will automatically be taken out of my pocket. I will walk into a room, money will automatically be taken out of my pocket. I will look at an art piece, money will automatically go to the artist. I will walk over and do something, money will automatically be taken. I'll go into a game, money's taken out. I'll do money's taken out. I'll just be like, just constant. They'll just take all your money, and you better have shit tons of money, and you better have shit tons of places where you make money faster than your money's going out of your pocket. And that's the thing. If you do this right, digitally, it'll be like, you'll have 100, I'll have thousands of revenue streams, where it'll just be thousands of different places where money's flowing in. So it'll be like, yeah, don't worry, just connect the pocket, let's just do it, right? That's the ISO 20022 banking system in the real world. In the real world, that banking system, first of all, no sovereignty. Like, not paying taxes will just become like, wait, what do you mean not paying taxes? That's like not using HTTP to access the internet. Like that doesn't make sense as a concept. Because the moment I have the coffee and I put it down and I take a step, it's going to trigger and take the money out, and it's going to notify the states, and it's going to notify Indonesia, and it's going to notify the FATF, and it's going to notify all the regulators. It's going to check my social credit score. It's going to verify how much what I did. Am I allowed to do any of this stuff? It's going to take the money out of my pocket. It's going to send the right amount of tax to the right regulators. It's going to send notifications for that tax payment before it even arrives in the other person's account. That's the ISO 20022 banking system. And if you're somebody who's like, I'm going to resist. I'm going to resist by saying no. Okay. Okay. You have until middle of 2024. And you better be able to pull out your own food and figure out a way to pay for a quitas without a bank account. Because, okay. It's already built. It's already going to go live. It's already live in many countries. They just haven't flipped the switch. When they flip the switch, this becomes official, this becomes live. Okay, so I have to take like a breather. Anybody have any questions? Can you please ask a very long question for me? Anybody? Going once? Thank you, you're a savior. Okay. I like slept 4 hours last night. I'm like barely standing up right now, but I didn't want to miss this, so I can't sit down. How do you spell that? Sit down? No, I'm just wobbling, right? That's why I'm just like half drunk. Like, guys, crypto, I swear to God, wait, hold on. I'll be back. 1 sec. Like, okay, crypto good. Right? You know what it is? I'm so much funnier when I'm like underslept. You know, creatives do that. They like don't sleep well and then they write stuff in the night, right? It's just the brain is like a little all over the place. It's nice.
So you don't sleep at all.
Man, we feed our soul. My soul's fat. My soul has diabetes. Your soul has abs. Soul abs.
My question is, I don't want that. If you don't like it,
If you don't like it, exit their system.
yeah.
Why do you want flights? You want to fly in the plane that they own? You want to drive on the road that they own? You want to live in a building that they own? You want to wear shoes that they make? You want to wear t-shirts that they make? You want to eat food that they make in a place that they make? You want to go to a restaurant that they own? You want to live a life that they own? You want your kids to go to a school that they own? Why? What's your problem? You don't like it? Go build your own school. Go build your own fucking place. Go get your own planes. Get your own jets and fly to your own places. Get your own island. What do you think we're doing? Right? If you do not like it, throw your phone in the river, throw your wallet in the river, shut off all of your bank accounts, okay? Exit their system. You don't get to say no. It's like, I want everything, but I don't like it. It doesn't matter if you don't like it. Do you own it? You don't own it? Well, you better like it. As a matter of fact, you'll be...
If you blindly can't see it, it wouldn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Just wait for the launch.
Yeah, dude, you're gonna see...
It'll be good.
You're gonna see better than everybody. Because because right now your other senses are more enlivened, right? You can't see, but man, you can feel harder. You can feel so much harder. You can feel people's energies. You can hear things people don't hear. You can sense things other people don't hear. You're like a superhuman walking around. You know, because when you shut off your sight, your brain uses that area of your brain to other things. So your other senses use the visual sense to create models in your head of what you're seeing. There's a representation of me that you're hearing right now, right? And you could like you know what, that blind guy who just like, you guys seen that? No? It's a blind guy. He was blind as a kid, and he rides bikes, and he goes everywhere because he goes around, he goes, I can't even make the noise, but he makes this very high-pitched tick, and he goes, and he has sonar built into his head. He goes, and then no, this is like in the States, right? But he became a superhuman. He became that, who's that blind superhero that like he's blind but he can like see things? Regardless, he's a superhero. So yes, the chip that's coming, they're using the excuse of you. They're saying it's for the blind. We want to make the blind see and the deaf hear and the paraplegics move. That's why we need to jack into your brain, right? And I'm glad. Like, think about this. Okay, I do want my brain connected to the one consciousness, right? If I can connect all of our brains together, guess what happens? Our consciousness becomes one. What will we be able to do when our consciousness becomes one? I don't know. Not against the AI, with the AI, right? People are trying to fight. Quit fighting. Aikido. Quit boxing. You're going to get punched in the face and they're going to put a hole through your head and through your kids' heads. Okay? They have big fists. Aikido. Okay? They throw power at you. You turn it around. You don't throw it at them. You throw it over here. By them. And then they go, well, you could have hurt me. Why didn't you hurt me? And you go, I don't hurt people. But you can throw all the power at me you want. I'm infinitely capable of redirecting that power. As a matter of fact, there's a mountain over here I need to knock down. You know, it's the building a world of metaverse and buying jets and yachts. I got a mountain to break down. I need a tunnel through it to break down. Throw some power at me. Boom, you put a hole in the mountain. Throw some more. Come on, dude, like, you have all the power. Throw some more at me, come on. Boom. And then I put a tunnel through the mountain that I need to put a tunnel through. That's what we're doing. Hopefully that analogy makes sense, okay? Do not fight. Love. I have answers. Mic, please, mic, please.
So, what is the roadmap in order to be able to benefit from this?
Wait,
Not too much suffering.
let me just finish all the bullshit and then we'll get to the roadmap, okay? ISO system's done. Tax regulations are coming. If you think you can avoid paying tax, good luck. Good luck. If you're from another country and you think you can live here because the country doesn't charge you taxes like Americans do, good luck. They're coming for you. Okay? You're going to pay taxes. Figure out a way to pay the least amount of taxes. In Indonesia, we pay 0.5% taxes. I can live with that. I can really, really live with that. I literally live with that. But tax regulations are coming. So crypto tax regulations are going to be automated. ISO 20, the ISO system, taxes are automated. Everything's automated, right? You almost won't be able to touch your own money. So taxes, get your tax. If you don't know what the word tax residency means, get up to speed quick. You have 2 years. And if you're somebody who likes to resist and likes to say things that are against the system, oh, really get your shit figured out. Really get your shit figured out. You need to move your money 3 degrees away from yourself and own nothing. And you'll be extremely happy. There's a 15% global corporate tax that they want to implement. Indonesia will not implement it, but most other countries, Western countries especially, they're going to have a 15% global corporate tax across the board. 15% minimum, Germany 50%, California 47%. You know, most of them will want to take half of what you earn, if not more. ESG regulations, environmental social governance regulations. Because you know what you're doing? You don't have a house, you're destroying the planet. You don't have land, you're destroying the planet. You don't have Bitcoin, you're destroying the planet. You don't have a stake, you're destroying the planet. You don't have a car, you destroy the planet. You're a planet destroyer. So what we're going to do is we're going to put taxes on you. You own land, property taxes go up. Plus there's ESG tax on top. Now you better have enough cash flow to service the ESG tax and the property tax, just to get to the point of keeping your land. And then we'll shut down the entire world around you to make sure your cash flow shuts down. So now you will have no cash flow and your taxes will be too high through the roof. So guess who's going to take the land from you? Bill Gates. He's here. He has enough money to do whatever he wants, right? World Economic Forum. The ESG taxes are also going to come alongside with carbon credits, carbon credit deductions and carbon credit payouts. If you're somebody who figures out, and we're literally frothing at the mouth, not literally, but like metaphorically, frothing at the mouth to get our hands on carbon credits. Because stake, house, car, land, you lose carbon credits, which is money, remember? We are going to take coconut leaves that fall off of a tree that the locals do not realize is money sitting under their feet. We're going to show them how to crunch them up and turn them into pellets. And then those pellets can be used as fuel. So we figured out a way to sequester carbon from the sky and turn it into a value generating product to create a fuel system that is zero net carbon. Therefore, we get carbon credits. Guess what we're going to do with the carbon credits? We're going to give it to the farmer. And now the farmer has enough money to feed his children. If you don't understand the game, you're going to pay the farmer. Finally, the people who are too rich and not smart with their money shall pay the guy on the ground who's doing the work. Somebody just has to build the system. We have people on it. It's going to be live within a year. Now, the Indonesian regulations. We're building the Indonesian regulations. We're creating a plan called Indoverse 2030. It's going to define how Indonesia moves into the metaverse. NFTs, crypto, gaming, metaverse, Web3, regulations, trading systems, technology, tax regulations. How do projects get brought here? What kind of regulatory protection do they get? What kind of tax benefits do the digital nomads get? What kind of visas do they get? All those things we're figuring out live today. That's why I haven't slept, because we have a week to like present this plan to whatever. Anyways, but we're building it luckily here, because this government is the smartest government on earth. Indonesia is the smartest country on earth, with the youngest population on earth, with the most amount of growth in any country I've seen. It'll crush India, it'll crush China, it'll crush everybody. But we're building it. And we're going to build it in a way that facilitates the light beings getting to do what they do. The light beings, the us's, the crazies who think that they're going to create a new earth. Guess what? We're doing it live. The new earth is already half complete. While people are energetically feeling into the vibration to feel, then they're writing a plan around it. We haven't even wrote a plan. We actually do it and then retroactively get somebody else to figure out what the plan was in the first place, right? And we're not building it. When I say we're building it, we're building it. You know, we're just physical manifestations of the we, right? And be one of those. You want change? You don't like it? Do something about it. What did you do yesterday? Smoothie bowl? Who's making a smoothie bowl? Your overlords, right? Bow down. I'll make my own smoothies. And I'll feed smoothies to kids. I mean, Indonesians hate smoothies. It's not even food. And now Bule come here, they're like, we're going to change how Indonesians eat rice. And I'm like, what are you going to feed them? Kale salads. And I'm like, ooh. Dude, I don't even like kale salads. You give it to them and they're like, why did you put grass in the food? Why did you make the food out of the garnish? You know, where's the food? Is it underneath? Like, you know, you'll pick it up and be like, where's the food? You know, where's the meat? Yeah, what the fuck, right? But what were we talking about? Indonesian regulations. We need help. We need help. We have too much to do. And by the way, Bob Marley's family reached out to us. We're tokenizing his entire brand and Bob Marley. You know, you heard of a guy? He's about yay tall, has some like braids. He sings this weird song. He smokes this weird stuff. Have you heard of him? Okay, just making sure. You know, you should really check out his music. His family reached out to us, and we're going to tokenize his entire brand and the name and his music libraries and all of his son's music libraries and his merchandising and everything. And we need multi-layer NFTs to be built into Marley's. Yeah, but the Marleys is a family. You know, Bob Marley reached out to me from his grave. He was like, listen, my son. Like, no. He was like, yeah. I was blazing, right? And then he's like, the sun is shining, the weather is sweet. And then he's like, can you please tokenize me? You know, that's what he said. All right, tell me the truth. Pardon? They own it. Yeah. No, it's instructors, but they have ownership. But we're going to take that his entire everything. Pardon? They own everything. Like, But what we're doing is we're using multi-layer NFTs to Matt just gave me the idea this morning. And we have friends who are doing it too, but I'd love you to be involved in that process of using multi-layer NFTs where if somebody wants to buy just the vocals, it'll be one layer of the NFT that they can buy and the kickback happens. Or if they want the vocals, yeah, like the layers of the music becomes the layer of the NFTs. So somebody could license each one of the layers or multi-layers or all the layers on the full stack. They could get merchandising, they could get his name, they could get his licenses. They don't know what to do. We are the ones who are determining. Yeah.
Make sure they own the masters.
They own everything, bro. They're the Marleys. You think the do you know what Bob Marley's thinking was? You know, he doesn't anyways, we'll talk about it. This is just a side note. It's just you're here, so I wanted to let you know. We need help. We need help. We have thousands of projects coming. We have a dozen already live, and there's more coming down the pipeline. We need help. Skip your fucking smoothie bowl, okay? Add some value to people's lives. If you do something valuable, stand up and go, I'm gonna do something about this, and I'm gonna do it my way. And your energy and your ethos and your energy, Jesus, my brain's not working, and plus your energy will be incorporated into that system, okay? Yeah, exactly. So please help. Yeah. But we don't pay anybody. We don't pay anybody. You work with us, we don't pay you. You pay you. Come in, be so good that we cannot ignore you, and then the money will beg you. It will follow you, and you have to be like, no, 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 yes. Okay? If you're somebody who works for money, you work for money. Money should work for you. Are you the slave or are you the master? Okay. Timelines, roadmap. 20 minutes, let's go through a roadmap. First of all, any questions, please? Pardon? Yeah, but he's probably involved in the process. We have access to all of it. Yeah, it doesn't matter who owns it in this world. Remember? Give me the keys. No, but give me the keys. I don't care who owns this. I don't care. Give me the damn keys. Right? So we'll figure all that stuff out. But I appreciate you doing that because, again, we haven't even dug down deep. We got to go to Jamaica and smoke some, have a business meeting with them. No, we got to have a business meeting with the family. It's not for that at all. That's not why I'm so excited to go to Jamaica again and again and again and again. You know, that's not at all why I want to do any of this. That's not why I'm personally so excited about this process, right? It's for the business, you know? Yeah, okay. I mean, Thailand just legalized it, and it's turning over. Thailand has billions of dollars flowing in, and I think, yeah, it's our friend. Wes is there right now. He's figuring out how to set up a shop there. Yeah, for us, just for our team. We need. No, he had a brownie. He had half a brownie, and he thought it was delicious, and he ate the other half before the hour and a half, and he went into a coma for 3 days. That's good shit, though. I want that coma shit, you know? Timelines, roadmaps. The world is still working. First of all, if you got to go visit family, visit them 40 seconds ago. Okay? You want to hug some people? You got some people you love you want to really hug? You got before October to go hug them. After October, shit show's starting again. And we have a way bigger shit show coming this time. This is now the implementation of martial law across the world. The police and army are coming to the streets. They introduced themselves to us recently, this last cycle. This cycle, they're going to start to really show themselves. Next cycle, 2024, they're going to be in the streets with guns. 2024 to 2025, World War III. They're going to be fighting each other. Go hug your family right now. Right now, understand how to protect your assets, protect your wealth. Just protect it. Not even grow it, just protect it, okay? Learn how to generate 100 different ways for you to make money. And if you're like, Sim, thank you for the sentence. I've been trying to do that for my whole life. Hasn't really worked. Yeah, we're teaching about it constantly. We're giving you 1,000. If you have zero money, I can show you a way to make money. Go find somebody who understands the value of actually buying eco mines, and we'll give you 7%, right? So there's no excuse. The excuse is you're having a smoothie bowl. Learn how to play the wealth game, like the wealthy do. The wealthy pay all of their taxes. Their taxes are 0%, right? But they pay all their taxes, always. Learn how to, if you have enough wealth, learn how to structure yourself in a way so you're protected against all the stuff that's going on. Again, if you don't know, watch all of our talks. I've done talks about each one of these pieces in 2 hours. Pardon? No, don't even hire us. We got too much shit to do. Like, figure it out yourself. If you can't figure it out, pay us too much money to do it. Right? At this point, it's like we're beyond the, sitting down with each person to do this. We're now sitting down with Bob Marley, right? So we're kind of, okay, like, sorry, this is the reality. It's been 18 years of me. It's been 18 years of me screaming from the rooftops. It's been 2 years of people listening, 2.5 years of people listening. I don't have time anymore. If you're not figuring your own game out, if you're not saving yourself, I'm not here to save you. I'm giving you all the knowledge I can. I'm literally standing here after 4 hours of sleep to make sure that people get this knowledge. And if you don't do anything with it, I'm sorry. God helps those who help themselves. If there's a single thing, you say, what's a single thing I can do today? Learn. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Learn. Where did I learn this from? I learned this from the global dominant experts. Yeah, I spent 20 years doing it. I have 20 years on you, but I'm giving you all of this stuff. I paid thousands and thousands and almost $100,000 for a lot of this information, right? And there's people taking the paid information and giving it to you. They're teaching you everything. Just learn, spend the time, skip your smoothie bowl, please. Seriously, like, you want to energetically feel into things? Great. Energetically make money then. Oh, you don't like the idea of money? Great. Leave the system of money. This is what I don't like about the light people. They think they like have a bad relationship with money. Money is just love. You have a bad relationship with love. You don't love yourself because you hate money. Okay? Like, if you add enough value to people's lives, the money follows you. Why is it? Because you're improving people's lives. People love you back. I come from a mud house in India. Standing here in front of you today. Anybody can fucking do it. Okay? Just please change that relationship through learning and changing your internal state. Change your internal state. That's all you have to do. Fuck the world. Change your internal state. That's it. Change your mindset. Change your heart set. Change your soul set. That's it. The rest of it will change on its own. Just change your internal state, because the universe is not outside of you. The universe is only within you. I mean, the universe doesn't even exist. It's like a video game. It's literally a holographic representation of what we call reality, but it's not even real. It doesn't even exist. You're not here. I'm not here. You're me. I'm you. But we're nothing and everything. See the duality thing coming back again, right? Change your internal state. If fuck the money, just please change your internal state. And if you don't know what that means, Google it, YouTube it. There's 1,000 people teaching you. There's literally millions of people teaching you. That's today. Okay, let's talk about crypto. Learn about crypto. Learn about what the world is doing to you, around you, live today. Because this space moves faster than you can think. In the moment that, in this blink, a new project popped up. That's how this world moves. You don't have to learn about the whole world. Learn about these dynamics. That's why I'm always teaching about the broader dynamics of what's playing out, so that you can absorb it into your mental model of how you see the world, because we all hallucinate our own realities. So however you hallucinate the reality, incorporate as much of it as you can. Do not resist it. You want to resist it? You don't resist it by resisting it. You resist it by building a new way. And if you're not building a new way, take a back seat. Okay? because then you shall not inherit the earth. I'm sorry. Build the earth you want to build. Build the universe you want to build. Energetically, internally, externally, on all the different planes. However your shit works, please do it today. If you're a creator and you have a good idea, we have everything for you. We have everything for you. We have pipelines of liquidity that are so big that they will drown you in money. We have support, we have resources, we have places, we have jets, we have yachts, we have everything that you need. We have buildings for you, just palaces. We're building palaces across the world. You don't even have to come to Bali, okay? Just reach out, but your idea better be great and your heart better be right, and you better be so driven that you're willing to cut off your right arm and then the other one and then your legs for this, for whatever your vision and your idea is. And if you're ready to bleed, we'll bleed for you. Okay, we have everything. Resources are not the problem anymore. If you're looking for money, you're playing the game wrong. Money should look for you. What's going to happen going forward? Sometime closer to the end of this year, we're about to start the horror show. The beginning of this movie. World will go into a much deeper lockdown, much more stringent. Martial law will start, probably it'll start to manifest itself around 2023-ish, because the supply chains are already breaking down, food supply chains are breaking down. Martial law already has been implemented in many, many, many countries. Those are being beta tested. China's always the beta test. If you look at what the Chinese lockdown has been, it's been horrendous. They're purposely letting food rot outside the city so that it doesn't reach the people, and they're welding people into their houses.
You mentioned a few days ago that you were expecting a lockdown very soon, and you just mentioned it again. What would be the reason behind it this time compared to 2.5 years ago?
Monkeypox, Marburg, XYZ bullshit. Now we have a new enemy to fight. It is called monkeypox. It is everywhere and nowhere at the same time. It actually doesn't exist. It's being caused by radiation cooking you, that they're beaming into the sky. Why do you think it's raining in dry season? Because they're heating the atmosphere. Why do you think it's dry up in the mountains where I am and it's raining down here when it should rain up there and it should be dry down here? Because they're cooking the atmosphere and they're beaming radiation up into the atmosphere, and the satellites are shooting it down onto us, and all these cell towers are shooting it on us. And we literally keep our own microwave device right next to the important parts. I have two. I know it, and I have two. So you know what I'm doing at the farm? I'm putting this mosquito net around the bed. It has a fine silver mesh inside that creates a Faraday cage around you while you sleep that absolutely does not allow any radiation frequencies to go inside of there. And that's why within 2 years, I'm leaving this whole shit show. And I will only be found 2.5 hours away in the mountains. And I'm getting a jetpack that's going to have, it's a wing with a jetpack on it, and it's going to be vertical takeoff and landing, and I'll press a button, and God bless AI, because it's going to take me off, transition me into flight, and I will jet down here in 7 minutes if I need to. But I'll be wearing clothing with Faraday cages built into it. I'll look like a druid, because I'll have like a thing and the stuff. They'll be like, this guy thinks he's fucking the shit. It's like, no, I'm just protecting myself from the radiation that you don't know is cooking you. That's going to be used to manifest whatever the hell they want. They can make it look like monkeypox. They can make it look like whatever. All that needed to happen was they need to inject you with a magnetically resonant substance that your entire nervous system would become like an antenna. I mean, we're already liquid crystal antennas, but it'll become like an antenna, so you'll vibrate beautifully, and they'll be able to send signals to you to control your state and receive data from you remotely. And if you think any of this is bullshit, disprove me. I know more about cellular biology and the nervous system and electronics engineering than anybody in this room, hands down, and I've spent 25 years of my life studying these things and trying to disprove them, and it turned out, shit, they're right. We literally, when people way smarter than me, medical scientists, bioengineers, actually looked with a microscope down at the graphene dust that's inside of the stuff that they're injecting, it's literally codec chips. It's codecs, it's the processors, it's all the pieces necessary for you to create a computer inside. It's a self-assembling computer. People think it's crazy. It's like, you just don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, disprove me. Have you built electronics ever? No, I'm an electronics engineer. I understand all of it down to the depth. So that's what I'm telling you. They are going to simulate it. It doesn't exist. COVID doesn't exist. COVID is just radiation poisoning. Now they're just changing the frequency. They're going to cook you a different way, and your cells will react in a different way, and it'll look like monkeypox. Then they'll up-level it again. They'll cook you so hard you'll boil from inside, and blood will come out of your eyes, and that'll be called Marburg. You said to bring the truth today, right? I don't talk about these things because it scares the shit out of people. Good. You should go home terrified. Hopefully you'll skip your smoothie bowls. I'm sick of Woodians like wanting to change the world, and then they're just sitting there on a smoothie bowl. Like they order a 450,000 rupiah smoothie bowl from a guy who gets paid 5,000 rupiah for that delivery, and he's gonna make 40,000 rupiah today, and they literally won't give 50,000 rupiah to that guy because they don't have money. Yeah, I feel whatever. I'm just saying that's the world that we live in, and these are the people who want to build a new earth. I'm sick of that shit. Not just Ubud, here in the world, West America. Ubud is a million times better than America, right? But this is the world. This is the world that we live in. Sheep that want grass fed to them, yet they don't like it. I'm sorry. These are things that anger me. It's hard to anger me, but it's really true. It's like, you want change, build it. Did you even dig down into the knowledge of what's going on? No. Because we've spent all of our life flicking through Facebook and watching Netflix and being poisoned in our brain by ideologies which are being fed to us to take away our ability to be able to focus on missions for your life. I've been on some missions for 15 years. A 15-year-old kid, 18 years now, a 15-year-old kid decided he's going to escape the cold, and I stayed on that mission my entire life. I worked every single day of my life, like every single day. I didn't have parents, I didn't have family. I was alone, just working every single day towards the mission of escaping to a place where I will live next to the ocean. And then the day I sold all that shit, that kid was finally happy. He said, good, sell all the garbage. Who needs this shit? Get me next to the ocean. That's where I'm happy. So do that. Die for it. We're all gonna die. Die for something, right? Skip your smoothie bowls. If you order a smoothie bowl, look into the eyes of the human, the I, the you that brings you the smoothie bowl, and give him $30,000. Give her 30,000 rupiah and watch their face. Their faith in humanity will be restored. And if you don't have 30,000 rupiah to give them, that's your problem. Okay? What were we talking about before I went? Bananas? No, we were talking about roadmap. We didn't even leave this year yet. Okay, roadmap. What kind of time we got? Okay. We're gonna go a little long. Next year, financial collapse. All asset classes are collapsing. The only thing that will go up is the US dollar. So at some point, you better be in the US dollar. If you were in euros for the last 6 months, you just lost 30% of your wealth, like that. Okay? The only thing that will go up is the dollar. So you better learn how to transition into the dollar. If you don't know how to do that, we're teaching about it, how to take profits into the US dollar, where to store it, how to protect it, all that stuff. Go into USDC and store it with custodians, and a third with yourself. Third with a custodian, third with another custodian, third with yourself. When the financial collapse happens, the chaos breaks out, because now people have lost their money. Now, you know what happens? You guys got to watch China. You guys got to watch China. Watch China. China has bank collapse right now. People can't get their money out of banks right now. And they're rioting in front of the streets right now. The Chinese are rioting, who know that they will die if they say one word. They're rioting in front of the streets because they have nothing to lose now. That's coming to a street near you very soon. Probably in 2023, latest by middle of 2024, sometime in 2024. 2023 is a year of financial collapse, and 2023 is a year that it clicks for people. Hey, this is a merry-go-round. This thing will never end. It's like terrorism. It'll never die, okay? And then food starts to not hit people's tables. And at the same time, guess what? crypto's at such a good price. Do you think this transition of the value from the old system to the new system will happen while we're sitting there all like chilling, like, yeah, I'm ready, bro. I got my strategy. I'm good. I clicked the right button. No, there's going to be people bleeding from the eyes dying in front of you while they're doing this in the background. So the last thing you'll be thinking about is money. Okay? 2023, transitionary process. 2024, and again, unlock, lockdown again. Way worse this time because now we're conditioned that vaccines are always a solution. Martial lockdown is the only way that we can protect. This time around, neighbor will turn on neighbor. If you're somebody who walks around super proud about not wearing masks, they're going to turn the mask wearers on you. We become the Jews, they become the Germans. And I mean, there's already Germans running it. And if you don't like that, I know there was a lady who got angry about that. I'm not saying anything about Germans, all right? I have the best German friends. There's just a historical reference of the dynamic that's playing out. It's the same playbook. Same playbook Germans were forced to use or tricked into. Same playbook that the Romans used. Same playbook that Napoleon used. They all use the same playbook. It's just rinsed and repeated in a different way. 2024, we go biblical. That's why by 2024, I will be in the mountains. Okay? By sometime in 2024, switch gets flipped, all the regulations go live, all that capital flow moves into this space, and I mean hundreds of trillions of dollars, especially because they're printing money, hundreds of trillions of dollars flow into this space, but you are way too busy with your traumas, real traumas that manifest in front of your eyes, generational traumas. 2024, new system goes live, most people have lost all their money already. We're going into a completely chaotic world landscape. In 2024 to 2025, World War III, new system goes completely live, transition completes. 2026, we give you the solution, hit I agree on this new system. End of 2025, the reason why I'm saying 2026 is one, because historical analysis shows me that that's when this should end, historically speaking, and that's going back 3,000 years. I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. Also, the World Bank loans end at the end of 2025. And when World Bank loans end, the movie ends, because the movie is funded by World Bank loans. Okay, this is why it's important to understand the fluidity of finances in the background. 2026, the calm after the war. Everybody's given up. We're all traumatized. We all come together like the world does after every world war. And we all decide, okay, we're going to create a new system, a new social hierarchy, a new self-organization system, a new financial system, a new ownership structure, new constitutions, new human rights. I mean, there's not going to be any human rights. Humans, by the way, if you're injected with something that's genetically modifying, you lose your human rights. And under the Human Rights Charter, International Human Rights Charter, if you get injected with a genetic modification, first of all, you're no longer considered human under regulations. You are considered a transhuman. That's also why it's not a coincidence that they were going so hard on protecting trans rights, because the goal is that's for transhumans, not for transsexuals, okay? And under international law, according to the Supreme Court has gone to court over this, you become property of the corporation that owns the genetic modification patent. So you took Pfizer, you're Pfizer's property. You took blah, 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 you're blah, blah, blah's property, okay? The only one that doesn't make you property is the Chinese one, Sinovac, because the Chinese know the game. They are part of the game. If you make it to the other side, a golden age of knowledge and sharing and love and caring and abundance and magical technologies and things we can't even imagine will begin. By 2030, it'll be live. By 2030, we will be living in a world that's so much better than today. So much better than today. Yes, some people will be in the prison of metaverse because they did not build their door first because they had smoothie bowls. But the creators and builders, I'm serious. And there's no smoothie bowls there because you know what smoothie bowls have? Too much carbon credits. Sorry, bro. No smoothies for you. We're going to give you slop. Slop bowls. Slop. No, not kale salads. Not even kale salads. Kale salads are too rich you know? But from 2030 until 2050, 2060 will be a golden age of prosperity. A golden age of prosperity like you've never seen before. The world will have been depoisoned from the poisons that we're pumping into this beautiful Mother Nature. The poison of humanity will have been neutralized in many ways. There will be a new poison that rises up, but the poison that we have created today will go away in many ways. And humanity will be incentivized through monetary structures and social hierarchy structures to live in a way that's much more aligned with nature, that shall not destroy nature. 2070, our grandkids will turn the ship around. By 2120, another plague will come and rinse and repeat. Same old bullshit again and again and again and again. And the whole world will be based on blockchain by 2032. 85% of the value that flows in the world will flow on the blockchain by 2032. So between now and 2032, within the next 10 years, all of the value in the world will flow on the blockchain. Most of the value in the world will flow on the blockchain. And then they will print so much money into existence that the numbers we talk about today will just not even make sense anymore. The same way that, you know, 1 million rupiah used to buy a house, and then 1 million rupiah now buys a smoothie bowl. It's fine, like 3 smoothie bowls, okay? These are solid smoothie bowls, bro. You gotta try these smoothie bowls. They're really good smoothie bowls. I'm not saying anything bad about smoothie bowls. Smoothie bowls are good, you know? Sorry, I don't want you to think I'm against smoothie bowls. They're good for you, right? But that's the process that'll play out. And that's why what we're teaching is all the steps necessary according to what I know today. Please don't just listen to me. Disprove me. Disprove me. If you find data that disproves me, send it to me. If it's better data than I have, I will change my mind. But this is a cohesive vision of all the research I've done, everything from like all the theologies, all the technologies, all the sciences, all of the base layer understandings, the energetic world and the underworld, the non-existent world, the psychedelic world. I've pulled all of this together into my hallucination, and this is how I hallucinate. Okay, so that's the truth. I'll shut up now. Thank you for your time. See you guys next time.